Hey everyone, welcome to the Checkered Chat. I'm Justin, and as you can see, this is not Blake next to me. This is actually my dad, who has, and Rosie, who is leaving the room now, who has asked to come in on this episode because Blake and Lily are currently in Boston, Massachusetts, probably touring Fenway Park right now, getting some coffee or however they say it. Coffee, Duncan, I don't know, whatever they do. But yeah, so this is my dad reveal.
Oh yeah, as he said, I'm not Blake Williams. Twice as old and about half as happy as he is about Sunday's winner, I guess. But yeah, that's happy to be here. This is I'm definitely. I know Blake may raise your IQ on racing. I may lower it a little bit, but bear with me, okay?
Hey, that's my job. Nah, but yeah, no, we're here going to talk about Martinsville and look ahead to Rockingham, which should be fun. With Rockingham, we've only O'Reilly and Truck. That's it. That's all we got next weekend because it's Easter, and we have only raced there with O'Reilly's once. So that should be or once in the near time last season. You know what I mean. But yeah, before we get into that, we're gonna give you guys a little bit of my dad getting into racing and stuff, and thought that might be interesting to do. So I should have wrote these down, but I'm gonna just kind of come up with them off the dome. So what is your earliest racing memory that you have?
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's always good to follow or be a fan of a winner. So I started off, the first thing I remember was Richard Petty, the King, which brings me vividly. I thought about this today. I was trying to think of maybe what questions you may ask. And so I thought about like the first time that I went. And I also thought about the fact that I have a very Ford van with no AC in the back.
Was there AC in the front? Or?
I don't know. I was in the back, so I'm not real sure. I don't think we had AC at all.
Gotcha.
So we're like hanging out in the infield, and beside us, and I'm young, so I seen this, like it was a big, huge RV. In my mind, what I remember was it was like one of these you see. I'm watching. It's like, this is awesome, and I'm watching, and I watched Richard Petty win, and they fed us steak dinner. The guy actually, like, not the adults that weren't with us didn't eat steak dinner. I got to eat steak dinner, and it was like the very first steak dinner I ever remember having. So like, I'm kind of get where I'm going with racing and family atmosphere. So that was, and falling in love with it. So my favorite driver won, was introduced to steak, and so it was great. So the next year, and I can't remember whether it was, I was trying to look today, and it was I either went in 74 spring race, 75. It was one of the two, where he won, and then the next one, he either
Still no AC.
looking for the RV that we had seen the
Yeah.
year before, of course, And little to my despair, we took it. We didn't ever see that RV. I remember this. I had a bucket of chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and this was back when the buckets were really, really big.
And back when KFC was good.
Was really good. Yes, absolutely. And so that race, talking about falling out of love, I think Richard Petty either blew a motor or he finished sixth at one or the other. And I didn't find the steak dinner, and I had Kentucky Fried Chicken, but the adults fell asleep in the van, and I just sat eating Kentucky Fried Chicken.
When did they wake up?
They woke up towards the end of the race.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I thought you were talking about after the race they fell asleep.
No, during the race, they actually fell asleep. So this is how bored I was. I was just like, trying to find, you don't know what's going on. You don't know where the cars are.
Yeah. Especially
at
in the infield and during that time.
Absolutely.
I mean, back then, they had the scoring pile on, right? or
I would never have known. I was too involved in
your
just
bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken?
finding the 43
Yeah,
car. That was the
yeah.
main thing.
The funny thing is, to people who are listening, I've never heard this story, and just now hearing it, I'm like, that's hilarious.
But and it was, and we never were like a racing family or anything growing up. I was raised by a single mother. You know, you have your heroes as a kid, you know,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you don't understand that a driver getting old or getting
yeah,
or retiring or not being any good
yeah.
anymore.
What Kyle Busch right now, you know?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and that so I watched, you know, Richard kind of, you know, tail off, and then he had one decent season. I think he may have won another championship or whatever.
Now, take us into the golden age, because that's when from my understanding, is when you got back into it before you fell out of it again. Yeah, it's been on again, off again
It
with
is
racing with him. But yeah, no, like, tell the story of like how you got back into it back in like the early 90s.
okay. So as I said, all during the 80s, always would be at a friend's house. He always watched his father watch racing, and he was a big Daryl Waltrip fan. But through the 80s, from time I was around 85 all the way in the 90s, every one of my every obnoxious friend that I had was a Dale Earnhardt fan. And so when I admired Dale, but I wasn't a fan. Just like I admired Joe Montana, I wasn't a fan. I admire Tom Brady, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, you can respect the talent. It's
Uh,
kind of like how me and Blake are with like Larson nowadays.
Absolutely.
Respect the talent, not a big fan of him.
Right. And then as they get older, I tend to start gravitating back towards them because they're the older guy,
Yeah.
you know, and like, believe it or not, like Kyle Busch, sometimes I kind of want him to win now, where he
Yeah.
used to be my antagonist.
Yeah.
So, but to move on, everybody was Earnhardt fan, and they were very obnoxious Earnhardt fans. And so, I had just recently, I got married in 1993, and moved into some apartments, little one bedroom apartment. We would, I met that was the DuPont.
Now you guys understand why I'm such a big Jeff Gordon fan.
Absolutely. 94 hit. That was the next year, like his first. I think he had like 2 wins that year, and that was the kickoff of it. It was just like, it's good to follow a winner. It's good to be a
Yeah.
fan of a winner.
Yeah.
And he was, and you know, he was, no matter what anybody said back in that time, I could always, well, we won this week. And
Yeah.
that was the majority of the week. So, you know, so he won a lot. So that was like kind of created a little bit of a trend, getting back into it. Along came Jimmy Johnson and really ruined everything for me. So
Big buyer into that when once Jimmy came along, that Jeff Gordon became the test car for all of Jimmy's setups and stuff.
He always ran that secondhand car,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and he could get the most out of that.
Yeah.
I think that last,
Was it at Bristol?
no, I wouldn't be able to tell you the truth.
I couldn't remember, but I remember it was like a pretty
I just
big
remember
deal.
towards the end, he did contend.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few years where he just really fell off.
After Jimmy got his, you know, multiple championships and
Right,
stuff.
then they allowed it.
Yeah.
So so that kind of got me back in. I never was one to, like I said, I have a newfound love for it. So I'm excited to see some different tracks
Yeah.
now. You know, you and I kind of have agreement. So
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
going to start that next year.
Yeah. No, I actually, after the podcast, need to talk to you about doing a trip towards the in October. There's one within driving distance. I won't spill the beans, but
This year or next year?
this year.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
We'll
Yeah.
definitely talk. So
yeah. So And then it was around the time of stage racing starting was kind of when you sort of fell out of it a little bit.
It was probably a little before stage racing because I remember when stage racing, I'd kind of started trying to pick back up a little bit, and
Mhm.
then and that stage racing was something, and I don't want to go negative, but that was something that kind of drew me away,
Yeah.
kind of kept me away for a little while. That and all the numbers being moved and things like that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
and
Actually,
then
this
and then you got where they rotate sponsors now and stuff, and
Okay,
it's
now that was another thing. Back in the day, you could follow Jeff Gordon's car was DuPont. Maybe he changed once a year, twice a year. They may
yeah.
do something different.
Hmm.
There was the DuPont car, there was the Texaco car, there was the BF Goodrich car.
Yeah.
It never really changed, too much. So it was easy to follow. To me, it kind of got, and even gets a little distorted these days.
Oh yeah,
Well,
when you have like
Joe's Mechanic Shop,
oh yeah. Yeah,
kind of
just
thing.
the random sponsors, and then when you're like, oh well, I like the Monster Energy car. Oh well, which one? Because there's 5 of them. Like it seems like, yeah, no, I
So
mean,
that did kind of deter me because it just made things a little harder for me to keep up with. This past weekend, I actually kind of fell back. I kind of liked it actually. It made sense to me. You could
mhm.
actually read that whole Bob's footage.
Dude, me and Sonata joke that that's our anniversary. Have been together since 2015. So like and we also were engaged for so long. It's like trying to remember the amount of years that we've been married. It's like I think 3, but feels like 10 because we've been together for so long. It's yeah, today's our anniversary. Shout out to her for putting up with me and all of that rudeness. And I guess this is also another question that I should have asked off the rip. Probably would have been a little bit but it kind of works at getting up to present day and everything today.
Actually, I work on a pool truck, and we do pool service and maintenance. So, I have the guy that works with me. And we're talking, and I'm telling him about some stuff about racing, and I tell him that your mother's favorite driver is Ross Chastain, and oh really? And he said, why? And I said, well, and I started giving him the reasons why, and after the time that I give him the reasons why, I'm thinking to myself, why is this not my favorite? He's sponsored by 4 races, I believe it's 4 races through the Moose fraternity.
The Be a Moose.
Moose.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
I believe that's the Moose fraternity.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that the Moose Lodge people and stuff? Okay.
my grandfather was actually the governor of the Forest Park Moose Lodge multiple terms during the 70s. So that was enlightening. That was cool. I was like, wow.
I didn't realize that that's what that sponsor was.
All right, and if I'm wrong, would somebody please comment till Justin did something, because I Googled it, and my grandfather always called it the Moose Lodge. That's all I ever heard. It was called the Loyal Order of the Moose. Well, when I did the Google, Loyal Order of the Moose is actually the male side of the Moose fraternity. The women's side was your grandmother was actually in it. It's called the Women's Auxiliary. Now, that's in Forest Park, and that was in 1980. It could have changed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I'm not wasting everybody's time
Yeah.
and giving them false information. But
Either
I do
way,
believe,
yeah.
exactly. So the Moose, I had to look at that. And then it being your grandfather too, yeah, or your great grandfather, because I went to. So yeah, favorite driver today, and I'm gonna put my flag up. Ross Chastain.
I think that's a good one.
Although I have to say, my wife, she did pick him. There's a few other reasons. Her name is Wendy, and we love the Wendy sponsorship. We hope they do more with the number 1, and we need merchandise with that. We can't get any merchandise.
Yeah.
We got to get that going. Let's see, what were the other reasons? I kind of lost my train of thought on
Watermelon farmer.
Watermelon farmer, Southern guy, good guy. Looked like he likes to kind of stay in shape from what I've seen on a couple of the docs. So yeah, I'm gonna. But one thing I do remember now, I will have to say, your mom is a little. She is a little confused in his number because she thought he was 15 because he runs 15th most of the time.
Oh. Ba-dum.
Yeah, seems like a lot of times he is. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of weird.
Just kind of middle of the pack.
Yeah, because she's like, he's not number 15. I'm like, no, he's number 1. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Mm.
that's a little bit about him, his credentials, if you will. So we're gonna get into the O'Reilly's race because we only had O'Reilly's and Cup this weekend. So you got Justin Allgaier sitting on the pole, came out, was, fast in qualifying. Lap 1, Justin Allgaier leads the field of green from the outside, Raja Caruth on the inside. So no surprise there. Junior Motorsports runs the O'Reilly series. There's Rosie coming into frame. She's our third host. How's it going, Robo? What are you doing? So, where were we? Justin Allgaier clears for the lead off of turn 2 with Brent Cruz looking outside Raja Caruth for second on the backstretch. By lap 7, Allgaier has extended his lead over Raja to almost half a second. Lap 21, Brandon Jones passes Raja for second off turn 4, but both trail Allgaier by almost 2.5 seconds. Lap 31, the lead for Justin Allgaier has begun to shrunk over Brandon Jones as he deals with lap traffic. It's now down to just under 2 seconds, which is still a good amount of a lead to have. Lap 33, there's a caution for Luke Baldwin. He crashed into turn 3, running 31st. This didn't look like it was the first time they showed it, didn't look like it was a huge hit, but then when they slowed it down, you see that car pop up. It was a tough one, and I'm pretty sure that was his first O'Reilly start, I think, because that's Tommy Baldwin. I think he's the competition director for Rick Ware Racing, something like that. It's his son.
Tommy's son.
Okay. Also one of the hosts on Door Bumper Clear. LeVar Scott also receives rear end damage in this crash. Lap 44 on the restart. Allgaier leads from the inside. Brandon Jones on the outside. Allgaier clears for the lead by turn 1. Brandon Jones clears for second on the back stretch while Brent Cruz looks outside Raja for third. I do think that it is going to end up being here soon that Raja gets his first JRM win.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because he's been running really good all season, and even when he's not in the JRM cars, he's still doing really good. I mean,
the win's gonna come in the 88.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The ability's there. He just got to get.
I mean, that's the thing. He won in trucks a few times, but I mean, I think that he is honestly I think in my opinion, he's a really slept on young prospect, in my opinion. I know it's his first season at O'Reilly's, but
I agree. I'm becoming a big fan.
Yeah.
Especially after watching him in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We've seen him in Atlanta and running those 88 car. Is it 32?
Yeah.
But he's always good. He shows out.
Yeah. Even when he is in the 32, I mean, it would be cool because the 32 is a smaller team. It'd be cool for him to get a win in that car just for that team.
Yeah.
But it's
excited. I hope he does get in a bigger ride.
Yeah. Maybe I think I could see him next season getting full time with JRM and then maybe doing one more full time season before he went Cup.
Yeah.
But I do think that he's gonna be one of the names that you start hearing about in the talks of who should get a Cup ride.
I agree.
Once you start seeing the Brads retiring, I think that he's one that will be in consideration for sure.
That's coming pretty soon.
Yeah. I mean, that's the 3 I feel like that everybody is kind of waiting on.
So do you think if Denny was to win the championship, he'd hang it up?
Oh, 100%. If he would have won I think this is what's going to happen. He's still shaping up where he's going to be a contender for even in the new format. He's going to be, but if he about that on the restart 3-day
leads from the inside, Sam Mayer on the outside. Lap 72, Corey Day clears for the lead by turn 2. Sam Mayer slots into second. Taylor Gray touches Jeb Burton in turn 4, allowing Lee Pulliam to clear for third. Once again, another week. Shout out to Corey Day for not using consistently top 10 finishes. He's another one that I think that, like, the wins come. Yeah. I'm still running, getting those finishes he was getting with being as aggressive as he was being, which is like top 10 and recontended since then. Well, because I was like, I think that was about a month ago or so. But yeah, because I made an Atlanta, and I think he wrecked every one of them. Yes. No, 100% he did. So lap 76, misspelled something, but Sam Mayer is pounding for the lead. And sometimes it's pretty funny, and sometimes it's like, what was I trying to say? Being to Jim Clemens running 30th, slows and set to point out smoke with power steering issues after a step up off of turn 4 a few laps earlier. Lap 87, we have a caution for fluid on the track from the Jim Clemens incident. Lap 101 he's a car steward guy, who's like a pretty good short track guy, and he was running I'm pretty sure it was forging another.
It stacked up.
Finished fifth.
Yeah, it took him out of contention. So lap 106, we have my favorite in the world, a caution for debris. 18 on the restart, Mayer leads from the inside, Austin Hill on the outside, and then not much happens towards the end of stage 2, but Austin Hill wins. Yippee, we're so excited that Austin Hill won a stage. No, we're not. Anyways, lap 131 on the restart, Raja leads from the inside, Harrison Burton on the outside. Both remain side by side until Raja clears for the lead in turn 4. And then Corey Day slots into third. Lap 133, another caution. Parker Retzlaff spins in turn 2 from, I'm going to assume that I meant 8th there, not 0th or something. He spins basically after contact with Patrick Starpoli. Lap 139 on the restart, Raja Caruth leads from the inside, Harrison Burton on the outside. Allgaier bounces off of the turn 2 wall, running 4th, but keeps going. Sammy Smith gets alongside in turn 3 to battle for 4th. Lap 143, you'll hear us say this name again. Patrick Starpoli in 13th spins in turn 2 after contact with Dean Thompson, while Kyle Sieg in 18th also spins behind him after contact with Lee Pulliam. Another one of those patented O'Reilly synchronized spins that they seem to do. 145. Yeah, we'll have 145. Aja in first, Brandon Jones in 16th, Lee Pulliam, Ryan Sieg, Kyle Sieg, Patrick Starpoli, all pit. Harrison Burton now leads. It's his first laps led since Martinsville last fall. Poor guy. He has had the run of it for sure. Lap 150 on the restart. Harrison Burton leads from the inside. Corey Day on the outside. Harrison Burton clears for the lead by turn 1, then survives a bump from Justin Allgaier in turn 2 to keep the lead, and Allgaier looks under Corey Day for second. By lap 152, Allgaier takes second. Then Allgaier ends up taking the lead. Lap 181, you have a caution for Ryan Ellis spinning out in turn 2 from 33rd, reporting he had no brakes. Lap 189 on the restart. This is what we were talking about. Lee Pulliam leads from the inside, Brandon Jones on the outside. Lee Pulliam gets the way the timeline put it was a sluggish restart. It looked like it was just a slower restart for sure. And then he recovers to keep the lead. Raja Caruth gets by Brandon Jones for second off of turn 4. Lap 1, another caution for Garrett Smithley and Brad Perez. They spin between turns 3 and 4, battling for 25th. Taylor Gray hits the back of Nick Sanchez, and I just lost my place. Back of Nick Sanchez, where was I? In the resulting stack up. Lap 203 in the restart, Lee Pulliam leads from the inside, Raja on the outside. Lee Pulliam gets a great jump and clears for the lead by turn 1. Corey Day tries to make it 3 wide under Raja and Justin Allgaier. Entering turn 3 and makes contact. Raja Caruth clears for the spot as Corey Day and Allgaier continue to battle. Lap 217, you have a caution with Nick Sanchez, who slows in turn 3 from 32nd. Yeah, I mean, after losing your ride essentially to a pay driver kind of sucks, especially
Yeah.
after winning last season and having a pretty decent playoff run.
Yeah, I thought he was on his trajectory up for
Yeah.
sure last year.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, after that Atlanta win, a lap 2:26 on the restart, Lee Pulliam leads from the inside. Justin Allgaier on the outside as Corey Day chooses to restart behind Lee Pulliam. Allgaier pulls ahead briefly before Lee Pulliam fights back. Both touch off of turn 2. Allgaier edges ahead off of turn 4. Lap 2:27, Allgaier clears for the lead. Lap 2:29, you have another caution with this guy's favorite driver, Ross Chastain, who spins from 20th on the back stretch. 20th, not 15th.
I know.
So now he's Tony Stewart.
I'm telling you, in a lower series too.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, he it's like when he goes down to the lower series, he's either dominating or just non-existent.
I agree.
Right before Martinsville, that race with him and Corey Heim were the people that were, it was first and second, and then Heim just passes him because no one realized that he had newer tires than everyone. But yeah, so lap 2:34, you have Allgaier leading from the inside, Lee Pulliam on the outside. Lee Pulliam has a bad restart and causes a massive stack up on the front stretch. Cars involved are Carson Quaffle, Lee Pulliam, Brent Cruz, Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, Harrison Burton, Jeb Burton, Andrew Patterson, Sam Ayer, LeVar Scott, Patrick Starpoli, Taylor Gray, Joey Gacy, Austin Green, Rajah Caruth, Josh Williams, Anthony Alfredo, and Parker Retzloff.
Would it have been easier to say who was not
Yes,
involved?
I think so, honestly.
After that, I seeing all that, when they did the restart, I couldn't believe how many cars were still on the track.
Yeah, well, it's just because
they were involved, but it just didn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a major.
It didn't like take them out.
But the way it looked like it would took out the half or 3/4 of the field.
Well, it's because that track is so small, like that kind of stack up on a like Atlanta or something like that. But it was just
and
on
they
that.
Probably weren't. I don't know what the speed was, but they just had got going.
Yeah,
so like little fender bender. But,
yeah. So lap 2:35, they red flag the race. And on the restart, lap 2:31, Allgaier leads from the inside, Corey Day on the outside. Allgaier clears for the lead as Corey Day misses a shift on the front stretch. Sammy Smith looks inside Corey Day for second on the back stretch, but Corey Day edges ahead. Also, one thing to add, my dad's favorite Xfinity driver is Sammy Smith. Clown him in the comments if you want to, because Blake is convinced that you're the only Sammy Smith fan that exists.
Hey, I seen another one buy a shirt the other day. Hey, that car, you gotta like that car.
The pilot
As
car.
You can tell, I go real deep into my fandom, right?
Yeah.
You know,
you're like, does the car look cool?
The car looks cool.
Yeah,
and
I don't think so. Yeah,
right.
you're probably right. That's true. Good point. Good point.
Old guy point.
Yeah. Lap 2:40, there's a caution. William Sawallich spins between turns 1 and 2 from 11th. Lee Pulliam and Jesse Love make contact, battling for 5th. Lee Pulliam starts to show smoke from a tire rub. Lap 2:46 on the restart, Allgaier leads from the inside, Corey Day on the outside. Allgaier clears for the lead off turn 2. Sammy Smith looks inside Corey Day for second on the backstretch, and lap 250, none other than Mr. Justin Allgaier wins the race.
It's your favorite, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a big Allgaier guy. I like Allgaier and Jesse Love. Those are my two favorites. And O'Reilly's. I'm not going to say Xfinity because, everybody's going to be like, yes, this is not my called anymore. And I'm like, yeah, shut up. Anyways, so your top 10, Allgaier in first, Corey Day in second, Sammy Smith in third. I think that's the highest Sammy Smith has finished this season, if I'm not mistaken.
More steady, though.
Yeah.
I'm not the... I don't want... I got to admit, O'Reilly's, I'm not on every single week. I catch some highlights, but that number 8 looks really good.
Yeah.
It really does.
In fourth, you had Sheldon Creed. In fifth, Lee Pulliam. Yes, he was running a JRM car because that number 9 is a JRM car.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's who was in. Okay, in 9.
Austin Hill in 6th, Dean Thompson in 7th, Ross Chastain in 8th, Ryan Sieg in 9th, and Brent Cruz in 10th. So yeah, Corey Day having another really good day, coming in second, no pun intended, with his last name there.
And is Brent Cruz a rookie? I mean,
I'm not
I thought
100%
I heard on
sure.
the broadcast that they were saying that he was a rookie.
He
could be
very
wrong.
well could be. I'm not 100% sure. I
Somebody
can't
said because
remember.
he's got a top 10.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, O'Reilly's has pretty much been dominated all season by Chevy. I mean, because if we're going to be honest, Chevy has the biggest presence there.
Yeah,
Because there's only I think very few Fords. Like there might only be like 4 or 5
that's what
in the
I'm
whole entire
thinking,
series.
yeah. And I mean, you could always say Junior Motorsports is going to win,
Yeah.
and you got a
shot.
Yeah, you got a 20%, 25% shot.
Yeah.
Seems like.
Yeah. So you ready to move on to Cup?
Let's
Cool.
do it.
So your pole winner for Cup was Denny Hamlin. Lap 1, Denny Hamlin leads the field to green. From the inside, William Byron on the outside. Denny Hamlin clears for the lead in turns 1 and 2. Josh Berry looks on the inside of William Byron for second on the backstretch, but William Byron clears for the spot off of turn 4. By lap 5, the top 6 have become single file, with Denny leading by a little over half a second. Then we have a big jump to lap 39. Hamlin starts to struggle to pass John Hunter Nemechek, and Byron starts to close in on him. Lap 78, there's a caution. Are we surprised? Cody Ware spins between third and fourth after contact with John Hunter Nemechek, and Denny wins stage 1. Yeah, this is pretty much, this race is just Denny dominates majority of the race and then still somehow loses.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it because I always be like you said, Denny dominates Denny. Because I think I don't know if this was exactly when this was. I think it was.
Yeah,
he's coming up on lap traffic and Byron takes the lead, but then it's like just a few. I think Byron may have led 7 laps, and then it's just
something like that.
Denny just blows past him. So yeah,
Denny's
he was in a rocket there.
Yeah,
for the
he's also good, really good at Martinsville. I mean, short track racing or whatever, the little sound clip of him everybody uses.
That's why I got him on there.
So lap 96, and good Lord, the thing is, before the restart, after this one, there was 16 laps in between. Then also I'm like, I'm sending under caution, because I mean that's 16 laps right there. So on the restart, you have Denny Hamlin leading from the inside, Byron on the outside. Tom, we've heard this one before. Both remain side by side the entire lap, while Ty Gibbs clears Austin Cindric for third behind them. Yeah, I know. Is that to both of them? I guess I'm Austin Cindric or something. Because he seems to be too much
in his like height and stuff. I think it was last year whenever he won. Was it last year? I can't remember if it was last year or if it was the year before. Whatever year he won the like owners championship at the end of the season, there was a picture of Michael Jordan and it was his son Bo, and it was like Tyler Reddick and Michael Jordan celebrate the owners championship or something, and it's Michael Jordan holding Bo Reddick up in the air like this. Yeah, I'm like, that's pretty accurate.
Michael Jordan, my favorite basketball player of all time, and then he had to join forces with my arch nemesis number 11 to create 2311. So he's not my favorite race owner. So I'm going to say that he is my favorite basketball player.
That's a
I don't care what
choice.
you LeBron fans say he's the best, but go ahead.
All right, so we're on lap 105. Caution for Noah Gragson, who spins in turn 4th from 31st after contact with AJ Allmendinger. Chris Buescher had come to pit road just before the caution from 12th with a right front tire issue. Lap 113 on the restart, Denny Hamlin leads from the outside, Ty Gibbs on the inside. Denny Hamlin clears for the lead on the front stretch, while Austin Cindric looks inside Ty Gibbs for second on the back stretch. Ty Gibbs clears Austin Cindric for second off of turn 4. By lap 148, Denny has almost a 2-second lead, and then lap 180, Denny wins stage 2. So this front half of the race, again, like we said, Denny just dominates the whole thing. Lap 194 on the restart, Denny Hamlin leads from the inside, and a name you haven't heard all season, Joey Logano on the outside, or as I call him, Baldy Logano, or if you're younger, Megamind, because that's who he looks like. So Denny Hamlin clears for the lead between turns 1 and 2. Ty Gibbs looks inside Logano for second. Lap 258, Blaney makes it to second, but is still 2.5 seconds behind Denny. Lap 283, green flag pit stop start. Lap 311, we have a caution for debris from Ty Dillon's brakes catching on fire and exploding. There was literally like pieces of rotor on the track. So yes, and this actually panned out really well for some people with the green flag pit stops, because Ross Chastain stayed out and was, deemed the leader at the time of caution. So on the restart, you had Ross Chastain on the inside, Denny Hamlin on the outside. Denny misses a gear on the restart, allowing Ross to clear for the lead by turn 1, and then Chase Elliott, lap 324. This is a fun one.
It is.
There's a caution for Bubba Wallace spinning Carson Hocevar. So let's be real, he completely just ran through Carson Hocevar, who hits Zane Smith and triggers a multi-car crash. Cars involved are Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, Riley Herbst, Zane Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Jones, Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar, and Connor Zilisch. The number one rule of stock car racing is if you're going to wreck someone, don't wreck yourself.
He didn't get that one.
No,
he didn't get that memo.
No, he did not at all. Because not only did he wreck himself, he wrecked his teammate.
Right.
So Riley Herbst.
Well, okay, but Hocevar has probably pissed off the majority of the field.
Yes,
but I'm just waiting to see what did he do to Bubba to do that.
Because the only thing
was blatant, and it was almost
100%, yeah.
And was it just, how did he get him that fiery?
Yeah, I mean, it honestly, the way it looked like, or what it looked like to me, was that we all know that Hocevar is a very gutsy driver. I mean, you don't get compared to Dale Earnhardt without being a gutsy driver, and you've got him who will shoot gaps that other driver wrecked himself in the process and dropped his point standings by I think he dropped 11 points
and ticked a lot of folks off.
Yes, 100%. So lap 332 on the restart, Ross Chastain leads from the inside, Chase Elliott on the outside. Both remain side by side the entire lap. Lap 334, Chase Elliott clears for the lead, or 334, yes. Chase Elliott clears for the lead. And then by lap 375, Denny starts to report having rear tire issues. And then basically it just seemed like, I do think that I feel like we've said this me and Blake have on a few other episodes where we're like, if this race was just this much longer, this person would have won. Even just a 5 to 10 laps more. Yeah. And it was Denny was super close to closing in to win, but Chase Elliott wins by half a second at Martinsville, which you don't hear that a ton. And to everybody listening, you're welcome for Blake not being on the podcast this time. No, I'm joking. Anyways, Blake was like, man, I really hate that this is a week that I miss.
He's missed.
Yeah.
I had a couple questions for him too on him riding the crew chief so bad.
Oh yeah,
because he did make a call there.
Yeah,
it's not in the notes, but I believe he
pitted really early.
Pitted really early, and you're thinking, what in the world is he doing? He's making another mistake, and then that actually is kind of
really
got him out front.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely during that he kind of started the whole green flag pit cycle. I feel like there towards at the end.
Yeah.
But it ended up paying off. So Chase Elliott is your winner. The siren was sounded in Dawsonville. Everyone who doesn't know anything about that thinks that the world's ending up there, I guess. Because if you haven't, look up a video of what it sounds like. It's like one of the most annoying sounds in the world, but it's their thing. They did it for Bill. They do it for Chase, But if you're ever up in the area, go up to the pool room. They have a really good burger. Also really cheap food. A lot of cool stuff up there. But your top 10, was Chase Elliott in first, Denny Hamlin in second, Joey Logano, who has somehow learned how to drive again, I guess, in third, Ty Gibbs in fourth, William Byron in fifth, Blaney in sixth, Christopher Bell in seventh, Austin Cindric in eighth, who had like the quietest top 10 finish, I feel like, of like his career.
Was he ever out of the top 10? I mean, most of the day.
Most of the day he was running up there.
Sir Kendrick himself, Kyle Larson in ninth, and then Josh Berry in 10th. Once again, another Penske affiliate learning how to drive apparently. But yeah, like you have Ty Gibbs, who's up there, who's been running good pretty much all season. It's like, what's going on there? Cindric isn't historically super good at Martinsville. Well, I mean, that wraps up our.
So you're at the off week, so there's no race on Sunday, but
Cup race.
no Cup race on Sunday.
There is no race on Sunday.
No Sunday race at all. So we have O'Reilly's and Truck in here. I guess I'll go and then I'll read Blake's and then I'll throw it to you for your picks.
Okay.
And we're also not doing paint schemes this week. Sorry, y'all, because it's just O'Reilly and Truck.
Which I just want to interject there. Paint schemes, Monster Energy and Bass Pro Shop should just win every week. So we'll just take those off and then we'll judge. That's just my opinion. But since we didn't have no paint schemes, you know what my favorite paint schemes are.
I will say when
modern day.
Yeah, I mean the Bass. I don't agree on the Monster Energy. Monster Energy gets boring. It's overdone, in my opinion.
Once again, it's something that's it's a brand.
It's there every week.
It's there every week.
Yeah,
it's just they have pretty girls. Everything's good about it. The car looks good. I will say though, I seem like Austin Dillon I feel like he does because it seems like he has more, he stretches it a little bit. He's going to go to like Real Tree. He's going to do some things where Briscoe's is just a little more plain. So,
it's always the same Bass Pro is what it seems like, but then Austin Dillon's kind of branches out.
And I am a big, as y'all know, I'm a big fan. I've stated of it being the same brand. But I do have to say the Real Tree stuff and Dillon does, I think I like better.
I'm in the same boat. I think Austin Dillon has better Bass Pro than Chase Briscoe does.
Yeah, but then like you said, like the Monster Energy, I couldn't tell you a difference. But I know there's a ton of difference in them, aren't there? Like
there's not a lot. It's only the only difference you get is like maybe Reddick doing the Beast Monster Energy, the alcoholic beverages.
Right.
So
okay,
I like those more than I like the just straight. Those are definitely the coolest.
Jump man.
So picks. I'll sit in for Blake on his. So for Truck, I went with Carson Hocevar. I think he's going to go out there and wipe the truck field. Even though that Corey Heim is in this race, I feel like if I pick Heim another time, Blake's going to crucify me because he loves to do that. And then Blake went with Lane Riggs. He just told me the names. He doesn't have any kind of backing to any of it, so roast him in the comments if you want to. I think Lane Riggs is a pretty good pick, but he does pick him a lot. Anyways, what's your pick for Truck?
I'm going with Hocevar. Because I like Hocevar, that's why, and I think I'm not gonna pick Heim either.
Yeah.
So I believe he's always strong.
Yeah. So O'Reilly's, Blake has Jesse Love. I think that's a pretty solid pick. I want to say last year he did pretty good here at Rockingham. I think he was at least a top 5. I can't remember if he won or not, but he did really good here. And I am going with Corey Day. I think this is the one that he's going to pull it through. Just riding momentum, it being a track that Cup doesn't race at too. Like I could see him winning this one. So who you got on O'Reilly's?
That's a good pick. O'Reilly's, I'm going to take my favorite, Sammy Smith. Like you said, he finished, third last week?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to bring it number 8.
Heck yeah. Cool. Well, anything else you want to bring up, talk about?
No, I just, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Anytime.
Didn't mean to dumb it down too.
No, I don't think you did. You did killer for your first podcast experience ever, right? You've never been on a podcast.
You know the answer to
I mean,
that.
I didn't think so.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what you pool guys
spoken
do.
by the guy that has no social media.
Yeah,
It's
true.
like,
Yeah, if you want to find him on social media, you can't. You won't. You're gonna have to go to my mom's Facebook and find pictures of him, and we're gonna have to find a picture for you for pics this week. So that'll be fun. But anyways, that's all I've got for this week. I believe that's all Blake has for this week because he has no way to interject right now. Anyways, so this has been the Checkered Chat. I'm Justin.
I'm Mike.
And you guys can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, like, comment, subscribe on there, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. And you cannot forget about it. I don't even know how this started, me always